abstract artist, and I'm here at Muse Gallery, which is a cooperative gallery in Old City, Philadelphia. And I have been a member here since 2009, and this is probably my 7th show here. And this is my 2nd show with encaustic paintings. Prior to that, I did oil on canvas. So it's a cooperative gallery, which means it's run by the artists. We rent the space, but we're a group of 20 artists. We're all equal, and we get a solo show once every 2 years. And you can do whatever you want. Once you're asked to join the gallery, you're in, and no one really has any say over your art. We have to work together to run the gallery. So we have to, decide who's going to clean the floor, who's going to clean the bathroom, who's going to wash the windows. We all have jobs to help run the gallery, but you're selected because of your art, and then you can do with it what you want. And it was amazing. We shut down, but then one of our members built these walls that we moved up like 10 feet back from the window. So we just have like a little mini gallery up there. So like I have paintings hung in the window, but with these walls, they were able to show more art on these walls like 10 feet back from the windows. And then some people put other art in the windows. And we did that for, I guess, about 8 months. The show that was up in March just stayed up for 2 months because no one was gonna go after that. And then we started doing these little window shows. And the art sold. The artist would say, like, contact me if you're interested. And we actually did sell like a surprising amount of art from the window. And then we opened up back in person in February of 2021 and sold an incredible amount of art because there was such a pent-up demand. I think people like staying in their houses for all those months. So anyway, since February we've been open. We ask people to wear masks. Everyone's been very obliging with that. So my professional background is architecture. I have a master's in architecture, and I worked as an architect for 17 years. I worked in Houston, in Boston, and in Wisconsin as an architect. I worked on large institutional projects, hospitals, and research labs. Loved it, loved it, loved it. And my family moved here in 2000, and I had 3 little kids. Totally knew I'd go back to work, but the sort of the upheaval of moving, then I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a break. And after a couple of months, I thought, why do I want to go to work? Like, I have these 3 little kids to chase around, and my husband worked. So I thought I'll just wait till I get bored, and then I'll go back to work as an architect. And I never did. I took a painting class then. So we moved in 2000. I took a painting class in 2003, and I was hooked. It was just an oil painting class outside, and what hooked me was you get these immediate results, which you don't get in architecture. Architecture, the kind of architecture I did, you work on these huge projects, hospitals, research labs. They take years. You can have a big part of it, but that part might not get built. It might get value engineered out, or the whole project might not get built. But painting, you can paint all day, and if it's bad, okay, the next day you just come back and work on it. If it's great, you're like, yeah. So you get this immediate feedback, and I was just hooked. So I started painting in 2003. I took classes at the Mainline Art Center. And anyway, then I started showing in 2009. Definitely, that's why I love grids, and that's why pretty much all of my paintings have this orthogonal organization to them. Like, I'm not an abstract painter that can do like smushy stuff. I have to have some order. So that definitely plays into it. And people have commented, oh, they look like you know, like sometimes they look like plans, or they look like what you see out of an airplane when you're looking down. And I think that's just, yeah, I like grids and orthogonal structure. I usually just sort of let the colors and the paint just take me somewhere. I find like if I see something like an image that really excites me, and say I photograph it and I think, oh, I want to like jump off from that, it doesn't ever like go anywhere. I have to be careful. I can't sort of like use something too concretely as an idea to paint from. I would say I almost have no reference point. What I find is, like I said earlier, I start with just chaos, just like, I mean, it's almost like I'm a kindergartner again. I'll use paints that are just sitting around on my palette. Like, I don't even care, but they're there, and I might as well use them up, and it's kind of like, how wild can I be? And then I put like some kind of grid on it and start calming it down. And I think maybe more like halfway through, that's when I'll start to say, okay, what is this painting trying to be? And it's almost like that's more when I look for inspiration. You know, I might look to other artists, I might look to nature, but then it's like, okay, I've got to try to kind of rein it in. So it's interesting you asked that. I don't think so much in the beginning about what do I want to do, but say the midpoint to like 75%, that's when I'm really like, okay, what am I doing here? You know, this is just a mess, and I've got to get it under control. One time I took a class and it was so terrible. The instructor and I it just didn't work out. And the paintings I did in that class were so awful, I got rid of them. I never wanted to look at them again. But that was kind of rare, because usually you just paint over it. So if it's something you just can't stand, you just paint over it. Like this painting, this was a red painting, and it has lots of these strips of encaustic that I inlaid, and I loved it, but it was so like wild. I couldn't take it. It was this red and all these stripes, and I finally just thought, okay, that's too much. So then I started putting a black and white grid over it, but leaving a lot of the red. And it was getting better, but it was still just like, it was jarring. So at a certain point I thought, okay, I'm going to put these white stripes through here. And I'm not sure when I arrived on the kind of yellow, but that was what it needed. Like that red was just too much, even though I love red. But anyway, but I like the red that like peeks through. I like that. I like, you know, it's kind of more like spice. It's there, but it's not like conking you over the head. So this looks nothing like what it did. And all those, I've also had to learn to like let go of all these pieces that I love. Like I loved all these things underneath. Oh, I just love all these parts, and it's hard for me to cover them up. But I mean, if it's a bad painting, you have to do something. So once I start covering it up, it gets so much better. I think I want them to not be able to look away. I want them to just be like enthralled and just want to keep looking at them. So if they look at it and they just go, so what? That's what I don't want. I want them to not look away, just to keep looking and keep looking and keep enjoying it. I want them to give people joy. That's my criteria. It has to be something I want to keep looking at. So if it's a painting that I kind of get bored with or I don't like, that's when I just keep working on it. And finally, when it's like there's nothing else I want to do to it, and I really like it, that's when I know it's done. So yeah, I just want people to enjoy them. They don't really have deep meaning. They're just, I want them to be an object of beauty that gives people joy. I love Richard Diebenkorn. I continue to be amazed by him. I haven't looked at his work in a while, but I love his work. I have to think. I was in Santa Fe in September, and I just walked up and down Canyon Road, just going into all the contemporary art galleries, just like, wow, wow, wow. Oh, there's a Nicholas Wilton, who I've looked at his work repeatedly, and he gives lots of online classes and talks, and I've looked at his work a lot. But there, I mean, you can sort of just look almost at any artist and think, you know, what is it I like about their work, or what do I not like about their work, and then decide how to use that in your work. Waltney, I've looked at him a lot. I think Kevin Tolman had some amazing work out in Santa Fe that I saw. So the internet's great because you don't have to be there at their show. And you can spend hours like finding somebody you like, and then the internet will tell you, oh, well, you know, like, look at this and look at this, and it's just like you could just keep going, like down a rabbit hole, finding painters you like. So I first painted with oil on canvas, loved it. It's so durable. I mean, it takes a long time to dry, so you have to be patient. You can paint with it while it's wet, or you can wait till it's just a little bit wet, or you can wait till it's dry. So I learned all of that and I loved it. But I guess 3 years ago I decided I was just ready to try something new, and I'd heard about encaustic. I think I had different artists remark that my oil painting looked like encaustic, and at that point I was like, what is encaustic? So anyway, I researched it, I took some workshops in encaustic, and the factory that makes the encaustic paints is in Kingston, New York. It's called R&F, and they give workshops, and I was hooked because you get this immediate result. It dries immediately. So it's not like oil painting that you paint and then, ooh, you gotta wait, you gotta let it dry. Encaustic it dries immediately. So I paint very fast, and I don't have to wait for it to dry. And there, like I told you earlier, there's so much to do with encaustic. I feel that I'm just beginning to really have like full control over it, and then there's so many areas I haven't even explored with encaustic. So I'm still using it like oil painting almost. But there's so much you can do with it. So how do I define? I would say, I mean, it's always exciting to sell paintings. It's very exciting when strangers walk in and buy my art. But I'm not sure I'd say that's success. I think success is just when I have a painting that I almost don't want to part with because I like it so much. Or sometimes I'll sell a painting and I'll tell my husband and he'll go, oh, I really liked that one. And I think, well, it's gone now. Why didn't you tell me sooner? And I would have kept it. So I paint for me. I paint because it just takes me places I haven't been. I want to paint things I've never seen before that excite me. So I would say success is, when I have a painting and I just always love to look at it. I think you learn, like the more you paint, you get much better at analyzing paintings and figuring out what's wrong with them or what's not working, and you get much better at editing. So like I said, I love to paint. I make all these marks, all this mess, and then it's like, oh, it's hard for me to get rid of some of it. But I've gotten much bolder about editing and realizing that, yes, I have to edit it down. Otherwise, it's just like too crazy of a painting and you can't look at it. So, yeah, and I'm just smarter, like about looking at a painting and trying to figure out what's not working. In the past, I took art classes, and so the professors would help me understand that, but now I feel like I can pretty much decide what's wrong with it and how to fix it. I want people to just come in and be thrilled to see this and to not want to leave the gallery, to just stay and keep looking and then to go tell their friends. So it's not so much selling, it's really just giving people something beautiful to contemplate. Just follow your heart. Like, I mean, classes are good. I couldn't have learned how to paint without classes, but like I said, there was that one class which was so horrible. Like, I had to stop going and I can't look at those paintings that I made there, they're gone. But find like professors and teachers that help you and inspire you and help you go where you want to go. You know, if they're trying to put you into a mold, don't do that. Like, you need teachers that'll look at what you're doing and help you go further. So I would say just keep making art and, you know, push yourself. Push yourself to ask, is that good? Is that bad? Do I like looking at it? Like, what do I like? What do I not like? And get rid of what you don't like and keep what you do like and just make it better. You're not going to believe how your life will unfold because, yeah, when I was 16, I never thought I'd be sitting here in an art gallery. Just follow your heart. Like, don't hem yourself in. I hope life is long for everybody, and like, be ready for all kinds of surprises and fun.